let's talk a little bit about flow state. I've heard you talk a lot about flow state and how it contributes to burnout, but for our entrepreneurs who are listening who have no idea what we're talking about, what in the world is even a flow state?
Well, let's start with what it isn't. It actually isn't burnout. It's actually helpful for burnout. Burnout is where you feel like you're running on fumes, you're emotionally exhausted. And yeah, you can burn out on things you love. So you could burn out on a passion project, but burnout is inflammatory in the brain. It is a state of psychological hopelessness, cynicism. You just feel like you're not making a difference. All those things, right? We can understand what burnout is. And in the brain, it is just like grief. So it's the same brain pattern in a functional MRI. It's basically you're grieving what you expected was going to happen with the reality that you have in front of you. And that's a loss. And that is devastating. That is the burnout in physicians and nurses when they thought it would be easier and it's only getting harder, or it's the devastation of like losing a bid on a house you hope to get, or, whatever, the school you didn't get into, or whatever it is. That's part of grief, right? We all have
the goal that you thought that you set, that you thought you wanted, and maybe you achieved it, but along the way, you hurt every relationship and your health along the way. It doesn't.
The collateral damage. Yes. The collateral damage. And we don't know until we get there. And so it's about looking with new eyes at, whoa, this is a different landscape. And that's burnout. The reality is not matching the expectations. So you reinvest and reinvent yourself in a way. And so then flow is literally the opposite. So flow is when you're dialed into all your senses. You have this selflessness. So your ego is dissolving. You really aren't worried about your ego. You're just having fun doing whatever that task is. You're not worried about the outcome. Sure, flow can be in certain outcome related endeavors like climbing Mount Everest or skiing down a slope, but you're in it in the moment. It is the ultimate of Zen, of mindfulness. So you're back in this beginner's mind. You're playful. The skills that you have adequately meet the challenge. It's not too hard. It's not too easy. You have this effortlessness. You have this richness of your senses. So flow is really fun. And it can last anywhere from 5 to 90 minutes. And so what I like to do is to help entrepreneurs or healthcare professionals learn about how they can create their own flow cadence, because there's 4 phases of a flow cycle. And when we understand that, we can then look back at our life and reflect on times that we can plan for flow, and we literally can optimize and be more productive in a joyous way.
So I think you've answered it, but why is flow important? Is it just so that we can feel ease, feel joy? Like, why is it so important for us to even have this conversation about a flow state?
Oh, thank you for asking. It's important for many reasons. It helps you increase your self-efficacy, your perceived feeling of having an effect on the world. It is also helping increase your feelings of gratitude, of well-being. It literally decreases your cortisol. It decreases your stress. And studies have shown that when we play or create or even do things that are just for no reason at all, just for fun, usually artistic or musical or dancing, the wellness benefits last long after the length of that activity. So we'll have medical students make something in a very comfortable environment, and they might learn that they can fail safely without repercussions. They can laugh, they can connect with each other, and that helps increase resiliency later on in other fields. So these skills are very transactional, translational. And so when you play with flow and you find your own little flow energy, you actually carry into the rest of your life more energy, more capacitance, a bigger window of tolerance of stress, because you feel like you're nourishing yourself at a deeper level.